Prime Ministers have often turned up at the National Press Club to try to reset the national conversation on anything from tax reform to climate change. But sometimes it's the tone being reset as much as the subject matter. Today, Scott Morrison threw out the Coalition's style book of the last 2 decades.
I think everybody's got to put their weapons down on this. Everyone does.
The Prime Minister was talking about industrial relations, an area he acknowledged had retreated into tribalism, conflict and posturing from which no side was immune. The speech had been billed as outlining the principles which will guide the government in rebuilding economic growth. There's obviously a big to-do list attached to that task, but today's first instalment dealt with IR and making a dysfunctional skills training system work.
Now, the first step is to get everyone back in the room, to bring people together. That's our job. And in particular, that's my job.
The government, he says, is just there to hire the hall. Attorney General Christian Porter will now run 5 working groups to look at issues from award simplification and enterprise bargaining to the casualisation of the workforce. And everyone's invited. Well, almost everyone. Employers, trade unions, small business, rural representatives, women and multicultural groups will all be there. And as a peace offering, the government has shelved its contentious, union-busting, Ensuring Integrity Bill. The Prime Minister is anxious for us all to understand he has learnt the lessons of cooperation provided by the National Cabinet these last few months, and the channeling of the ghost of Bob Hawke is very clear.
Bring Australians together in a united effort until victory is won.
Every federal government since at least that of Paul Keating has sought to barge into vocational and trades training, traditionally the jurisdiction of the states. It wouldn't be fair to say the efforts of both sides of politics have been an unmitigated disaster, but it is a close-run thing. As the review set up in 2018 by Scott Morrison himself, the Joyce Review fully documents. The review mapped the network of governments, training bodies and regulators that make up Australia's vocational training system, revealing an overly complicated mess. The review also noted that in just 3 years to 2018, public funding for vocational training fell by almost a third, or just over $6 billion. There's been a litany of disasters in the vocational education system: dodgy private sector colleges, income support schemes which didn't work, a lack of quality and standards, unclear lines of which level of government was responsible for what. National Cabinet has been on the case, and some experiments in new ways the system can respond to a demand for skills kicked into action as a result of the pandemic.
Give industry the opportunity to shape the training system to be more responsive to their skills needs and take responsibility for qualification development. Industries defining the quals.
No political speech would be complete without a new slogan. We now have the Job Maker agenda, the catch-all title for everything the PM wants to do from here on in, from tax reform to banking. Scott Morrison was still refusing to concede today that the JobKeeper scheme should go to more workers, despite the $60 billion downwards revision to its cost. The Prime Minister is clearly seeing the pandemic recovery period as one in which he can transform the nature of his Prime Ministership.
The challenges are enormous. I will seek to bring people together to define and achieve the change we need to in all of these areas.
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 7:30's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.